All right, what's good, all day fam? Told you I was gonna be back tonight. Prime time after Saturday night's games. I'm like still watching. I was watching just now the. Hold on, let me turn my TV down. I was watching the right now. Right, I was earlier. I was watching the Rams, not the Rams, the Seahawks and the. Who did it just destroy? Seahawks and the. Oh my god! I was just watching that freaking game. My brain is so shot right now, but it was the Seahawks and the 49ers. That's right. Seahawks and 49ers. I thought the game was going to be a lot closer, but I knew the Seahawks was going to win. I mean, I predicted the Seahawks to beat the 49ers 21-20. So, I mean, I thought the game, like I said, based on my prediction, I thought the game was going to be I thought it was going to be much more competitive, but the 49ers just didn't show up at all. They blew out the 49ers. What was the score? Was it like 41-6 or something like that? Hold on, let me see. I'm gonna go on NFL.com right now. Hold on. Or I can just go on NFL's X count, actually, and look. Hold on, let me see real quick. So yeah, they blew them out 41-6. And yeah, I don't think anybody on planet Earth besides the Seahawks thought that the Seahawks was going to blow out the 49ers like that. I mean, I will say this. As I was watching the game, and I just saw how the Seahawks was just troll like just punching, rolling, and not letting the foot off the gas. As like when they was like this, they came out there and they played hard in the very beginning of the game. As I saw that game go on, I wasn't surprised when I was seeing those touchdowns being made. When I saw the forced turnovers, I just ended up saying like this is how the Seahawks been playing all year. They have been dominating all year long. So I'm skipping over through the game right now. Not the game, the commercials, because I'm trying to as I'm talking. Right now it's halftime. Right now I'm watching because I already saw most of the 49ers in the Seahawks, but I'm watching also the Broncos and the Bills. I'm watching that right now on my phone. But so I'm just looking at the plays. Right now it was saying it was halftime, and halftime quarterback comparison, it was like you got Josh Allen. He was 8 for 10, 81 yard passing yards, 41 rushing yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, one turnover. And Bo Nix, 13 for 23, 150 passing yards, 29 rushing yards, and 2 touchdowns in the first half. So Bo Nix was playing very good in the first half. Josh Allen was not so good. But I think, yeah, so we're going to go more to this game in a minute as this game is going on, and as I'm talking about the 49ers and the Seahawks. But let's see here. Oh, so this was it right here. Yeah, so Josh Allen had a careless, I don't know what he was trying to do. So I think it was in the second quarter. I'm gonna go to the 49ers and the Seahawks in a minute, but in the first quarter, Josh Allen had a careless fumble. And I mean, he's carrying the ball like it's, I don't know. He's carrying the ball so careless, and he fumbles the ball, and the Broncos, they recovered it. But I mean, let's see how many people's want to give Josh Allen excuses for this game. He didn't have anybody, or his team wasn't all that well. Let's see how many people are going to, are not going to hold Josh Allen accountable. No, I think there was a questionable play call by the referees late in the game. Now we will get into that. I want to see what that exact play, so I can have an actual opinion about it. But you guys already know what my thought process is, and like what I think about the referees. Like I said before in one of my older videos, I said it before many times before, like countless times. If there is one job in the entire world that artificial intelligence and robotics should take over, should replace, it should be NFL officiating. I cannot stand NFL referees. Like and TSA. I hate TSA and I hate NFL referees. They both are kind of like they both have like this power trip agenda where they just think they matter and they really don't. It's like we definitely can do without you. Definitely. Definitely TSA, and you can do it without referees too because they they don't call good games. And for the most part, I'm tired of referees in NFL them being able to have them being able to make like the decision of the outcome of the game is really in their hands and them calling bad plays and this happens year after year after year after year after year because of bad officiating and I'm getting tired of it and the NFL just doesn't really do anything about it. Like everybody else gets held accountable, everybody else gets fined, they get suspended, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, but we never hear NFL officiating the crew getting suspended, getting fined, getting disciplined. We don't hear any about that. They just keep the same crew, the same team. They go out there and they can call a bad game one week. They can go out there and it could be the same team calling a very important game. Every game is very important. Every game in the NFL is extremely important. I mean, these guys they work their asses. I don't think people really understand and realize how hard it is to be in the NFL. To and not let alone just be in NFL. And then we're talking about preparing NFL, and then we talk about how long these seasons are. Like it's every single like it's really no days off when you're an NFL player, and when you're in the NFL, if you're a coach, a player, whatever, there's really no days off. And then, so for you to put in all that time, week after week, day after day, week after week, and for you to go out there and prepare what I'm saying? And you go out there to the game, and then just for you to have to deal with referees calling a bad game. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And it's not fair. It's not fair to players. It's a huge slap in the face. It's disrespectful. And it's disrespectful to the integrity of the game. It's disrespectful to players. It's disrespectful to coaches. It's disrespectful to the franchise. It's disrespectful to the teams. And something has to be done. The NFL needs to stop allowing referees having the power over the games. Nobody cares about referees. Referees do not matter. They need to lose their job, like all of them, like for real. It's like first off, you're kind of privileged to be an NFL referee. I mean, your job isn't that hard, and then you just go out there and you just call bad games, And so I pray to God that NFL referees lose their jobs, like all of them just lose their jobs because again, they don't matter and they're not important. And but for some reason they think or they act like they're more important than the people who actually do matter in the NFL. So the hell with referees, the hell with them, the hell with all NFL referees, like for real. And so like I said, I don't really know. I didn't really see. I got the game on right now, the Bills and the Broncos. I got the game on right now to see what that questionable play call was, but we'll find out. We're gonna find out, man. We're gonna find out. And but I'm gonna get. I'm already talking about the Broncos and the Bills, but I want to first off, before I get too deep into the Broncos or the Bills, I do want to talk a little bit about the Seahawks. But there's not much to really talk about with the Seahawks because it's in the Seahawks 49ers game because the Seahawks destroyed the 49ers. So like, what is there to really talk about? I mean, so it wasn't a game. It wasn't much of a game. I mean, the 49ers did not show up. They were sleepwalking out there. I understand it was an away game, but you didn't have to travel that far. You didn't like travel across the country. You went from San Francisco to Washington. See, I mean, San Francisco, well, you did go to Washington, but Seattle. So this wasn't that far away. I mean, and so let me see something. Let me share the NFL site. Let's see. All right, so let's see. Tomorrow, yeah, we got Houston, New England tomorrow. It's gonna be a phenomenal game. You guys, I mean, I can't wait to watch that game. And then we got the Rams and the Bears. I'm telling y'all what though, man. We're one step. We're just one step closer to a UFC quarterback winning a Super Bowl. One step closer. The chances of a USC quarterback winning the Super Bowl has just increased even more. Because Sam Darnold is 2 games away from the Super Bowl. Caleb Williams, he's gonna go out there and he's gonna whip on the Rams tomorrow. And then the chances is going to be even higher because then we're going to have two USC quarterbacks facing off each other, facing off against each other in the NFC Championship. And I don't care who they face in the Super Bowl. They could beat any of the AFC teams, any of them. I'm not worried about the Patriots. I'm not worried about the Broncos. I'm not worried about definitely about the Broncos because Bo Nix is out. He's done. I'm not worried about I said Texans and Patriots, Broncos, whoever. I'm not worried about any of them. I'm not, so it's whatever. But let's see here. So 40 so the 49ers the Seahawks destroys the San Francisco 49ers 41-6 at home. And it was just a huge blowout. Like in the first quarter, their first quarter ended 17-0. And then it was like one of the first plays of the game. Seattle just went on. They had a long I don't know what play that was, but it was, let's see. Yeah, it was a kickoff return. Yeah, Pinero kicked 60 yards from San Francisco 35 to Seattle 5. Shaheed, he went for 95 yards and a touchdown. There was a penalty on the play, but for tripping, but they still enforced between downs. Yeah, so still we got that. So that it was already Seattle. They just pretty much won in all phases of the game, not just on one phase. I mean, and to be honest with you, Jackson Smith-Njigba didn't really have like a big game today, and he was like he's like one of the best receivers, if not the best receiver in the entire league. Seattle, they won mostly on the running game and their defense. Kenneth Walker up the middle, Seattle for 4 yards, and then let's see. Yeah, Sam Darnold didn't have to do much, but this game pretty much. Seattle. The 49ers didn't score until the second quarter, and they only put up 3 points. And they had another field goal for 6 points, and then for a total of 6 points. And then game just quickly got away from the game was not a competitive game at all. Then so let's see. It was 24-6 in the first half, and then Seattle just took over. The 49ers just couldn't do anything else. 27-6. 34-6 in the fourth quarter. 41, the game ended 41-6. So that's that for that game. But let's see what the Sam Darnold did. Brock Purdy didn't have a good game. I don't want to you all know I had my things. I've had my perspective on Brock Purdy for years now. And I've always felt like Brock Purdy was an overrated quarterback. And just recently, like I said before, I was like, okay, I don't want to give I don't need Brock Purdy letting me down if I give him his flowers, just like how I did with Baker Mayfield, because I've always been critical of Baker Mayfield. I've always been saying Baker Mayfield was an overrated quarterback. I've always been saying I don't see how people I always say I don't see how people are huge fans of Baker Mayfield. And same for Brock Purdy. I was like, I don't understand how people just think Brock Purdy is this great top 10. Some even tries to debate top 5 quarterback. I've never seen it. Just because the 49ers were winning games and they were blowing people out didn't really mean that Brock Purdy had anything he was the reason behind that. And it was obvious he wasn't. But this year, when he came back, he's had some good games and he's done some things that I've always questioned him that he cannot do. And he did that. And so I was like, okay, he's starting to kind of win me over. And so that was the same for Baker Mayfield. And I was like, okay, Baker Mayfield, he's starting to kind of win me over. I give Baker Mayfield his flowers. The second I give Baker Mayfield his flowers, he starts playing like trash, like I've always knew how trash he was. Same for Brock Purdy. The second I gave Brock Purdy his flowers, he starts playing like trash. But here's the thing about Brock Purdy. I will say this about Brock Purdy. That I can't get on Brock Purdy too hard, though, because he did have a lot of injuries around his offense. So Brock Purdy is one of those quarterbacks that he needs a lot of great players around him for him to be great, and which is okay because that's the situation with a lot of quarterbacks in the league. But this is what frustrates me about quarterbacks like Brock Purdy or like about players like Brock Purdy. I have to specifically say quarterbacks because you guys the media, they love pushing these guys into this great quarterback category strictly because they win games and they go to playoffs, they win playoff games, or they even go to the Super Bowl. So it really doesn't really so much matter what they could do on the field. It's like all about like wins and losses. That's why I hate the win losses debate for quarterbacks. It has to stop. It has to be put it to an end. And so now, with that being said, Sam Darnold didn't have much of a good game either, but his team won. Sam Darnold didn't have a bad game. He wasn't really like the reason why they won, obviously, but he also didn't cause his team to lose. Sam Darnold was 12 for 17, and he was 12 for 17 for 124 yards and 1 touchdown. Kenneth Walker, he had a monster game. He had 19 carries, 116 yards, 3 touchdowns. Kenneth Walker went off. I think he was actually pretty good in the receiving game too. Well, he made some key factors. He had a huge first down. Cooper Kupp, surprisingly, had a pretty solid game. Cooper Kupp was getting busy a little bit. He started to get a little busy in the passing game. If they can get Cooper Kupp running, this is going to be dangerous, man. Because if you can get Cooper Kupp more involved in the passing game, he had 5 targets for 5 catches, 60 yards, and he has 6 yards per catch. He had his yak, and then if you can get him involved with Jackson Smith-Njigba, the Seahawks are going to be extremely hard to beat. Extremely hard to beat because they have a really great running game. And they have another running back, additionally to Kenneth Walker, who's really good. And then you say like you're talking about because Kenneth Walker is actually pretty good in the receiving game too. But then if you got Cooper Kupp, putting on effect along with JSN, they're going to be extremely hard. They could probably just go all the way. I don't see anybody beating them, but I'm going for the Bears to win. I'll go all the way. But the Seahawks are a dangerous team because their defense is scary, and I think they call their defense dark forest or something like that, or dark side. So yeah, they're not. Yeah, it's going to be very hard for any team to really beat the Seahawks. It's going to be. If the Seahawks are to lose, it's going to have to be a blood fight. I mean, it's going to be a bloodbath. If the Seahawks are to lose, they are physical, they are intense, and they're like brick walls, man. They are not moving. Look what they did to the 49ers. They are not moving. Now, granted, like I said, the 49ers, they did have a lot of injuries, and they did play against a quarterback who's the quarterback. He needs great things around him for him to be good. But the Seahawks, whoever the Seahawks are facing after tomorrow's win, we're going to see. They're going to face an elite offense regardless, whether it's the Bears or whether it's the Rams. So it's going to be very exciting. It's going to be very, very exciting and very interesting to see what the Seahawks can do next week, or I think the following week, whatever the NFC Championship will be. So let me see. When will the NFC Championship be? Let's see. I think it probably will be next week. So I think we only wait 1 week after when it's a Super Bowl. Let's see. They don't really have the NFC Championship thing going on, but I think it will just be next week. It will be probably like Saturday, the NFC Championship, and then Sunday, the AFC Championship. And then after that, you'll wait 1 week for the Super Bowl. I think that's how it usually goes. That's how it usually does go, but we'll see. We'll find out. Yeah, we'll find out. All right, so let's see. Yeah, so I mean, we can talk about more about the. Let's see. Right now, it's the third quarter. I'm watching the Broncos and the Bills. So in the third quarter, it's 23-10 in the middle of the third quarter. So speaking of the all right, so this game, I predicted the Broncos to beat the Bills 22-20. So I was right about both teams. You know, I was right on the Broncos beating the Bills, and I was right on the Seahawks beating the 49ers, but I was a little off on my score. Now, hold on. It probably wasn't too far away from the hold on, before I go hold on. Let me see. Oh yeah. Off on the score, I don't think I was. Let me see. Well, 3 points off. Well, yeah, I mean the Broncos beat the Bills 33-30. I said that they was going to beat them 22-20. So yeah, it wasn't too far. But I think Josh Allen, he had an interesting press conference at the end of the game. Let's see. See if I can share it real quick. Talk to people watching.
Gets Denver basic pounds down all the same pass rushing. How hard is it to just get here again and have this happen?
It's extremely difficult. I feel like I let my teammates down tonight.
Your emotions normally aren't this emotional for us. Is what has brought this on? It's
just missed opportunities throughout the game. It's been a long season. I hate how it ended, and it's going to stick with me for a long time.
I think it ended up being 5 turnovers overall. I know it just happened, but can you kind of take us into why it felt like you guys kind of got you?
Yeah. Can't win with 5 turnovers. I fumbled twice, threw 2 picks. When you shoot yourself in the foot like that, you don't deserve to win football games.
Josh, having said that, does it add the frustration, kind of the way the game ended with a couple of questionable calls?
Yeah, I mean, losing that way regardless, losing in the playoffs is not fun. So,
did you get an explanation on the Brandon Cooks play at the end?
No.
Can you process how the team was able to stay in the game all the way to that catch or interception play in overtime despite all the adversity?
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that's, again, we were battle tested all year. Down 2 scores at halftime. Come out, sack, fumble, hold them to 3. Find ourselves leading that game. And if 1 or 2 plays go our way, it's a different story.
Josh, the play at the end of the first half, you had 16 seconds, no timeouts. Why not just take a knee there and go into the half?
Just trying to be aggressive. Can't do that.
Josh, what did you say to your teammates after the game?
I haven't been doing a lot of talking other than I love my teammates and I'm extremely sorry. I'm disappointed in how this ended.
Josh, you mentioned this has been a long year. Is there anything in particular that's sticking out to you about this season?
Not at the moment.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so Josh Allen, he said it himself. He had 5 turnovers, 2 picks. What was it? 2 picks and he said 5 turnovers. I don't know what the other turnovers were, but let's see. Hold on. I know he had a fumble, or maybe he was talking about the team as a whole, the offense as a whole had 5 turnovers. Because right now I counted 3. I don't know what the other turnovers were. Yeah, 2 interceptions, and he had 2 fumbles, but that's still only 4. So I don't know what the other where the other turnover came from. Okay. Oh yeah, he didn't play his best game, but aside of that, his numbers, like always, are really good. 25, 39, 283 yards, 3 touchdowns. Yeah, 12 carries, 66 yards. I mean, this is a regular Josh Allen game. I mean, this is how Josh Allen always plays. He puts up a lot of yards. He puts up a lot of stats. He racks up he stat pads, and he turns the ball over. That's always been Josh Allen. Always. It's just the fact of the matter is he's always people. I guess people never really pressed him on it because he sometimes, for the most part, again, this is why I always say, like, we got to stop always being so. What's the word? We got to stop being so obsessed with wins and losses being a quarterback stat because people never really press Josh Allen about his turnovers because sometimes, most of the time, his team will come out and win. And I guess you could say he was the reason behind that. But there's going to be times where that's going to catch up with him. And it always does this every single year. It catches up with him every single year towards the end of the year. And people gave him an excuse because they was like, well, who was Josh Allen always losing to? He's always losing to Patrick Mahomes, yada, yada, yada. And there's sometimes where he doesn't really, where he's not really the reason why they are losing. But my thing is that Josh Allen in the regular season, he's always had problems with turning the ball over. And prior to, I think, Brian Daboll coming to the Bills, he wasn't really even all that good. Brian Daboll and Stephon Diggs. And, they helped him out. He gotten better. But he still hasn't been able to get over the hump. And for the most part, people getting that excuse because of Patrick Mahomes. Now this year, what's the excuse? You can't say his team let him down. His team looked like they played okay. They played pretty good. I mean, his defense could have played a little better, but I mean, Bro Nix did throw an interception. I just saw that to a defensive lineman. So, I mean, his defense did force some turnovers. So, but I mean, this was the year for Josh Allen to do it, and he didn't do it. Patrick Mahomes wasn't in the way. He lost to the Broncos. So here's the thing, man. We just got to stop trying to make some of these players who we want them to be. And we got to stop coming up with excuses all the time. If we're going to judge these players, let's judge them with the same principles across the board for everybody. And that's just always been my frustration with quarterbacks like Josh Allen, quarterbacks like Joe Burrow. We will find always the reason in the world to come up with excuses of why these guys are coming up short. But we will criticize other players who comes up short and say it's them. But when it's guys like Joe Burrow or Josh Allen, it's the team or it's the officials. It's never them. And that's what just frustrates me about, this quarterback stuff. But it's unfortunate for the Broncos because the Broncos are more than likely going to get booted out next week. But at the same time, maybe they won't. Maybe they won't because I never thought Bo Nix was all that great of a quarterback. I never thought he was really even all that good of a quarterback. I mean, it's obvious Bo Nix is one of those quarterbacks whose team is carrying him. So it may not be all that big of a deal that they lost Bo Nix. They got a really great coach who can scheme up stuff, can call plays, and Sean Payton. And then they have a dominant defense. So now the defense wasn't so dominant in keeping the scores, the points low for the Bills, but they were dominant in forcing the ball over, the forcing turnovers, the Broncos defense. So what did Bo Nix do? Let me see. What was his stats? He was solid. He threw for almost 300 yards, and his completion percentage was a little off. But let's see. Here. He was 26 for 46, 279 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. He had a rating 87.1, completion percentage of 56.5. Because he wasn't all that efficient in completing passes, 26 out of 46. 12 for 29. He tried running the ball, but he had one fumble, so he had 2 turnovers. Harvey, 6 carries, 21 yards. McLaughlin, 4 carries, 21 yards. See, if the Broncos had a kind of a better running game, I would be more confident in them winning, no matter who their quarterback is next week. But their running game really isn't all that effective, and that's going to. I mean, that was already going to hurt them in the beginning. You know, now they were fortunate enough to come away with a win against the Bills, but especially now that Bo Nix is out, the Broncos are not going. They're not. I don't really see them going any further next week. From next week, I really don't. So it's obvious the team that's going to win the Super Bowl. I mean, going to the Super Bowl, I will for the AFC. It's going to be between the Patriots and the Patriots and the Texans, and I think it's going to be the Texans because the Texans has the most dangerous defense in all of playoffs, and now they don't really have a running game like that, but I would say they do have kind of a better quarterback than the Broncos. Like the Texas defense is so dangerous. Like they just make me want to just pick them to just go all the way, meet the Bears in the Super Bowl. I did originally pick the Patriots, and I feel like the Patriots is kind of the more obvious and the more logical choice because the Patriots, they are kind of a more complete team than all the teams in the AFC right now, and their defense is scary. Hold on for a second. Like the Patriots, they have a very scary defense, but I mean the Patriots. Yeah, but Patriots defense is scary too. Is violent, but the Texans defense, it's like their defense is historically great. Their defense, the Texas defense is so dangerous. They can just win it all because how dangerous the defense is. It's like the Baltimore Ravens. And I don't see the Patriots winning next week. I mean tomorrow at all. And I think I already gave you guys my predictions for both of these games. Yeah, I gave you my predictions for all 4 games earlier this week. Like I said, Broncos was going to beat the Bills 22-20. I was right about that. I said the Seahawks was going to beat the 49ers 21-20. I was right about that. And for tomorrow's games, I said the Texans are going to beat the Patriots 24-12. Y'all mark that down. I said 24-12. Texans going to beat New England 24-12. And I also said the Bears is going to beat the Rams 26-23. So y'all mark that down. Now, and I think I'm still going to go with the Bears going all the way. I just going to have faith in my boy Caleb, King Caleb. That's what I call him, King Caleb. So we're going to see tomorrow. We're going to definitely find out tomorrow. And let's see, man. Let me see if I want to share any, like, go over, like, let's look over some. Let's see. Let's see if I want to go look over any highlights with y'all, man. Mm. Mm. This for y'all, Seattle. There's Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold, man. Telling y'all, man, it's gonna be a USC quarterback that's gonna win this Super Bowl. Telling y'all right now. Either it's gonna be Sam Darnold, Sam Dizzy, or King Caleb. I'm going with Caleb though, because Sam Darnold really has kind of have fallen off like early this year. So I gotta be honest. He hasn't really been all that. He has been very underwhelming lately. So it's kind of frustrating because he was playing very, very well early this year, and he was even in like low key, even was in like low key uh MVP talks, but for like he just went right back to just being kind of play. He was having bad games, and now he's just being average. Hopefully, he could kick in. Now, I did see some really good throws to him by him today. I did see some good throws when I was watching the game. I saw some good throws by Sam Darnold. So hopefully, Sam Darnold can actually, kick it back in, get back into gear. That's what I'm hoping. Will it happen? I think it will. Because, all right, you guys, you guys got my word. I think Sam Darnold, regardless of what's going to happen next week, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be Seahawks and the Bears in the NFC Championship, and an NFC quarterback and a USC quarterback is going to win it all. But USC, not NFC, USC quarterback or NFC too. But I'm telling you right now, I think Sam Darnold is going to have a really great game the next game. But Seattle Seahawks are going to lose, and that's going to probably be why the Seahawks do what they do, because Mike McDonald, it's obvious what he wants to do and how he wants to win these games. He wants to play dominant defense, which the Seattle Seahawks does, and he wants to run the ball violently, dominantly, and forcefully, I guess you could say, to say the least. And that's exactly what he has been doing. But I don't think it has anything to do with the lack of ability of Sam Darnold. I just think that Mike McDonald, that's how he wants his games to be. Sam Darnold has shown us that he can spin the ball, he's a great pass. Well, I won't say he's a great passer. Allen, let me see. Yeah, I don't think I think like Sam Darnold is I'm not gonna say Sam Darnold is a great passer. I'm not gonna say that, but what I am going to say is that Sam Darnold has shown that he can freaking pass the ball, and that he's really he got Cooper Kupp. He got Cooper Kupp in the freaking involved in the offense, and Cooper Kupp was looking pretty good. Like I said, we went over the freaking stats. Cooper Kupp was 5 catches for 60 yards. I think next week we're going to see more of that, and we're going to see more of JSN. Would I be upset if the Bears lose to Seattle? No, I wouldn't be upset, but I already predicted the Bears should go all the way and win it all like months ago. Well, not win it all. Well, I kind of did. I mean, it was kind of like an if or dependable scenario with the Chargers, because I was pretty much saying like, if the Chargers can't keep Justin Herbert upright or whatever, their defense can be consistent. I'm just going to give it all to the Bears. And so right now, I think the Bears is the best team. I think the Bears are the best team in the entire playoffs, because what their defense is capable of doing and what their offense is capable of doing, and who's calling their offensive, who's calling the offensive shots, and who their quarterback is. Right now, I think Caleb Williams is the best quarterback in the entire playoffs. I mean, he's better than CJ Stroud. He's better than Sam Darnold. He's better than Matt Jones. He was better than Bo Nix. And you got Matthew Stafford. So I can't say he's better than Matthew Stafford right now. But I do think Caleb Williams is going to end up being better than Matthew Stafford. Yeah, I do. And you know what? Screw it. I don't care. I'm going to say Caleb Williams is better than Matthew Stafford. Like, I don't care. This is Caleb Williams' second year. I think Caleb Williams is a highly talented dude, and he's showing that he can really play. Like he's getting better. I told you guys this last year. The dude, like Caleb Williams, is getting better inch by inch. Every single game, he's getting better, better, and better, and better, and better. And now, what was happening with Caleb Williams was making Caleb Williams so dangerous is that his ceiling is in the heavens. And what's going on now is that he has been fortunate enough to have a great coach that can make him more fundamentally sound and that can drill the fundamentals of being an NFL quarterback inside of Caleb Williams. And now what's happening is that his technique of being a NFL quarterback is starting to match his talent. That's greatness right there. That's transcendent. That's how Caleb Williams is like going to end up living up to his talents, living up to his hype. And he's showing it. Look at the throws that he's been making. So I don't care, man. I know I've always been a fan of Matthew Stafford. I've watched Matthew Stafford in his Georgia days, and I watched Matthew Stafford when he got drafted to the Lions all those years when he was with Matt Calvin Johns. I've always been a fan of Matthew Stafford way before people was even talking about this dude, because he has been overlooked since he's been in NFL. He's only been people really only been jumping on the bandwagon of Matthew Stafford when he went to the Rams and won the Super Bowl with the Rams. And I wasn't surprised at all when that happened because I was like, that was the perfect situation for Matthew Stafford. And Sean McVay knew that. That's why Sean McVay did what he did. But I'm going to tell you right now, sometimes I'm not really afraid of saying that I think a guy is better than another guy just because a dude been in the league for 10, 15 years or whatever. I think Caleb Williams has shown us who he is and who he is going to be. Caleb Williams has arrived, and Caleb Williams, I'm going to just say he's the best quarterback in the playoffs right now. He is, and he's going to show that tomorrow. And he's going against Matthew Stafford tomorrow. So there we go. The anticipation has been built. And I didn't even know what I was just doing. The anticipation has been built, and the story has been out there. Put it out there. Put it on the streets. Caleb Williams is a better quarterback than Matthew Stafford. And we're going to see it tomorrow. Caleb versus Matthew. And am I afraid to eat my words? I'm not afraid to eat my words if I'm wrong. If it shows up tomorrow that, I'm not going to go back on my word even if they lose tomorrow. I'm not even going to go back on my word even if Caleb Williams plays bad because he's still young, and I think he can still keep getting better. But you'll see tomorrow. You'll see. And we won't talk about it, but we will talk about it. So yeah. But see if I'm finished. See this. I want to probably get Seattle fans out there. Let's see.
With the save, Shaheed breaks through. Still going. A flag flies. Shaheed's going to take it all the way. Let's see if it stands. It's Rashid Shaheed. With the
They got this game where freaking Josh Allen when he fumbled the damn ball. Oh yeah, y'all saw that Kevin Stefanski, the head coach for the Atlanta Falcons. I don't really know what to think of that, man. I really don't. I don't know what to think of this. I will say this: I kind of always thought Kevin Stefanski was actually a pretty good coach. I just think the situation with him and Shador kind of gave him a and how I guess how he was treating the whole situation. It made everybody not like him, but he's actually not a bad coach, and I think we'll find that out. We'll see that when he's in Atlanta. We'll see that in Atlanta. Like I think everybody's going to start meat writing the Falcons, and they're going to start acting like they knew about Kevin Stefanski. I can see it now. He's not a bad coach. He's not, and I think he will be able to help out Michael Penix Jr. So Michael Penix Jr. is a extremely accurate quarterback. And to be honest with you, I think Michael Penix Jr. is the perfect quarterback for Kevin Stefanski. Now that I'm thinking about it, you guys know how much I like Michael Penix Jr. I've just always been saying, well, let me get off Bo Nix real quick. We'll talk about Bo Nix in a minute, but this right here is what we're talking about. So I think I watched Michael Penix Jr. in college and I thought he was really good. My only concern with Michael Penix Jr. is that he he gets injured too much. He's injury prone, and that was my you got injured. He got beat up. He got the hell beat out of him when he's in that Michigan game. But Michael Penix Jr., his the type of quarterback that he is, and how accurate he is. I think Kevin Stefanski is the perfect coach for Michael Penix. So I'm going to be looking forward to watching this next year. I think the Falcons are going to be a really great team next year, and they're going to be they're a great team. They're going to be a great team next year, and they're going to be hard to beat next year. I think Kevin Stefanski is going to do well. I really do. So I'm looking forward to that. I like Kevin Stefanski. I don't like how he handled the Shador situation at all. But he has a right. I mean, well, I can't say that because you are the head coach, and if Shador is your player, you got to treat your players with respect. And you got your job as a head coach is to get the very best out of your players, whether you like them or not. And if you don't like them, don't let it be known. Don't show it. Fake it. Fake that you do like them because you're the head coach. And really, to be honest with you, your job is supposed to matter more than how you feel. Your job is supposed to matter more than what you think. Your job is supposed to matter more than your beliefs. Your job as a head coach is supposed to matter more than what you like and dislike. Your job, because it's the NFL, and what comes along with the NFL, the results of the NFL, the results of the game, the results, the integrity of the game, that stuff matters more than what you think, what you believe, what you like and dislike, what you feel. None of that stuff matters. Your emotions, your feelings, that doesn't matter. So I don't like how Kevin Stefanski handled that situation because he showed that how he felt, what his likes were and dislikes were, mattered more than the results of what the NFL for the NFL and more importantly the Atlanta Falcons, because that was not the Atlanta Falcons, the Cleveland Browns and Shador. That Shador Sanders is your player and he's your quarterback, and he became the franchise quarterback. Well, I can't say became the franchise quarterback. What I'm saying is he was a starter. And so he's looking like Shador could be the franchise quarterback. But the fact of the matter is, it was Kevin Stefanski's job to get the very best out of Shador, and he didn't do that. He failed at that, and that's why he got fired. But obviously, the Atlanta Falcons thinks different. The Atlanta Falcons thinks that that Kevin Stefanski can get the very best out of Michael Penix Jr. And I think he can because Michael Penix Jr. is that type of quarterback for Kevin Stefanski. And I think we can put the bed to rest that Kevin Stefanski is a racist because he's going to be dealing with Michael Penix. And I guarantee you it's going to be different how he handles Michael Penix versus Shador because Michael Penix Jr. is his type of quarterback. So, so it's whatever. But let's see. Let's see if we can keep going.
Down Seahawks. Here's Walker, cuts back. Kenneth Walker is in. Touchdown, Seahawks. Somehow to Jake Bobo, just his third catch of the year, but it's a first down, good for 16.
Wow, watch the twitchiness, that little fake outside release there on Luter.
See Sam Darnold making some good
throws on the inside when there's no help inside, and there wasn't on that.
49ers drop out of a throw. It's caught. Oh, man.
This is unfortunate for the Broncos. Bo Nix out for the season. Sucks. Out for the rest of the playoffs. See, you see this play
Shea
by
throws it back. He's got a man open and is caught by. Four-man rush. Purdy pressure. Steps away. Being chased. Throws it back. He's got a man open and is caught by Tonjes. What a play by Purdy. Four-man rush. Purdy pressure. Steps away. Being chased. Throws it back.
Yeah, that play by Jackson Smith and Jigba was sick. Let's see.
Wow. Wow. Only where he could put front of
By JSC.
leading receiver this year. What a throw by Darnold on the run. Only where he could put it in front of Luter. The leading receiver this year. What a throw by Darnold the run.
Touchdown.
Only where he could put it in front of Luter. Lead.
Second and goal. Fake. Darnold looking, firing, end zone. It is caught. Touchdown. Jackson Smith and Jigba. Second and goal.
It's in right now, man. He's like the best receiver in the league right now. I mean, I think he was the best receiver in the league all year. To be honest with y'all, man. I was trying to see where that Josh Allen fumble was at. They're probably not gonna put it on here. They ain't gonna do that. No, of course they're not. Let's see. Bills defense forces a punt. Let's see. Oh, so I think they went overtime, and I think Josh Allen is 0-7 in playoffs. I mean playoffs. It's 0-7 in overtime. But nobody gonna talk about that though. Oh, there you go. Wait, hold on, that's not it. That was the play. Where's that fumble by Josh Allen? Oh yeah, see, they ain't gonna put it on there, man. That careless fumble. But it's whatever. But we can stop talking about those games. We can welcome John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh, he's the next coach for the New York Giants. That's gonna be interesting. And I think the Chargers are going to bring in. And I think the Chargers are going to bring in. They're interviewing Mike McDaniel next week, and if they can't get Mike McDaniel, I think they're also going to interview Brian Daboll. So obviously, the entire Chargers fan base wants Mike McDaniel. Everybody. That's the obvious choice. We can love to see. I mean, we just know that Mike McDaniel and Justin Herbert is going to be dangerous. With that being said, Brian Daboll with Justin Herbert is going to be dangerous as well. So I'm fine with either one. I would prefer Mike McDaniel if I have to choose, but I will be almost as ecstatic and just as happy pretty much if we got Brian Daboll. I think Mike McDaniel is the more sexier pick, but Brian Daboll is just as good, to be honest with you. He's just as good. I mean, we saw what Brian Daboll did for Josh Allen. We saw what he did for Jackson Dart. It's going to be no different with Justin Herbert. Actually, it's going to be even better with Justin Herbert because Justin Herbert is more talented than both of them. So Brian Daboll, and here's the thing, Brian Daboll, as the offensive coordinator, is going to be a much better coach than he was as a head coach. That's obvious. So Brian Daboll with the Chargers, that's going to be that's going to be great. I will be okay if we don't get Mike McDaniel. I will be okay with that. You know, because it's looking like Mike McDaniel can end up being more of a head coach. You know, he can get a head coaching job, but I think it all depends on what Mike McDaniel wants. I think it depends on if he would rather go coach under Jim Harbaugh, you know, and be under Jim Harbaugh, learn a little bit, get his, you know, do and do great as an offensive coordinator with the Chargers, and then he can go back and then go back into the coaching field, head coaching field. But the Chargers, they do need to hire. They need to get some good hirings in, because again, you don't want to be in that situation where you bring in a great coordinator, and then you got to go back, and then when that coordinator leaves for a head coaching position, then you got to go back and start looking again. So bring in some good guys, bring in some guys who can learn under these coordinators, and that way, you won't get freaking in a hole when your coordinator leaves. And the quarterback, in my opinion, the quarterbacks needs to be the coordinator. If you got a quarterback like Justin Herbert, if you got a quarterback like a franchise quarterback, when you have a franchise quarterback, in my opinion, I know it's asking for a lot, and I know it's probably too much, but when you're a franchise quarterback, I almost feel like you should be the offensive coordinator. That's your job. Like, I feel like you should just know the game inside and out, where you can be in a position where you're calling the plays and you don't need so much of an offensive coordinator. Now, I know that's like saying a lot, because I think the only person who really done that was Peyton Manning. But my thing is that I don't understand why most quarterbacks are not actually doing that, or actually pursuing to do that. I don't know. Maybe they are. Maybe it's just different. But I would like to do my research on that. It's like, why isn't more quarterbacks in the game putting themselves in a situation, no matter who their offensive coordinator is, for them to be able to call the games like they are the offensive coordinator? I don't know. I just always just thought about that. Maybe I just been spoiled watching Peyton Manning. Maybe that's just a generational thing, but I don't know. But anyway, congrats on John Harbaugh. And speaking of the Giants, I would like to see if we can get Brian Daboll. If not, Mike McDaniel. So I think that's all I got right now, man. I mean, I don't really have anything else for you guys, but it's going to be, I think it's going to be a fun game tomorrow, and it's going to be an interesting Super Bowl. I think the Super Bowl, it's going to be a great Super Bowl, no matter who's playing, because I think all 14 teams are really, really good. I don't want to see the Broncos in the Super Bowl, but they're not going to go anyway. But yeah, it's going to be fun Super Bowl. I think it's going, like I said, right, and I'm going to end it on here. Bears and Texans. I'm going to say Bears and Texans. All right. So thank you all so much for watching. I'll be back tomorrow night and for prime time, after the primetime games, and take care.